Give us that like B-roll look with kind of a steady camera, because you can like slow that down and add some stabilization in Final Cut Pro. But I thought I'd show you the whole process of shooting a B-roll with the phone here in the forest. So usually what I do is that I try to find some kind of details that is going to be interesting for the B-roll sequence to have as I am looking around in the forest. And when I'm looking around, we can see the stump here. This is kind of interesting. It looks kind of like worn out with this part here and the moss on top. So this we're gonna include. And if we keep looking, we can also see that there's this super tiny waterfall here. That like super small river. It looks really interesting. That is also something that we can include. We can also include some of the barks here on the trees. And hopefully, just hopefully, the sun is gonna come through the trees right here somewhere, and then we could get the sun flare coming out from that as well. But those are a couple of things that I think of like straight up that we can include in the B-roll sequence. So let's get to shooting the actual B-roll sequence. All right, let's open up the camera app here. And in the camera app, you want to make sure that you have it set to slow motion, and then basically just tap where you want the focus to be and then keep recording. Let's start with the stump, eh? Oh, my legs. I feel like an old man. Okay, I'm gonna have to rethink this. Basically like moving back and forth a lot of times to make sure that I get the shot. So just move the camera back and forth and try to keep it as steady as you can. Try to move like close to the ground. That actually looked really good. So let's move on to the next thing. We're gonna try to get a detailed shot of these kind of like stumps, tree stumps. What do you call these? Is this like tree? This is not branches, or is it like cut down branches? What is it? What do you call these? I don't know. But yeah, these things, we're gonna call them things. But we're gonna try to get a shot of these because these can be interesting, you know, to get that forest feeling. When you're having a cell phone, you don't want to do too much movements in your shots, because that is not going to look good, because it's going to look way too shaky. So try to hold your camera like this with 4 fingers, and then basically just move and try to pan at the same time as you're moving. And you can also do like some tilting if you want to do that, because that is probably going to look good as well. But I feel kind of satisfied with that, so let's try to get the small river here as well. Let's see if we can get as close to the water as possible when we're getting this shot. Yeah. I'm feeling like the seal on the beach. I really hope that I do get some good footage out of this. Okay. All right. I think we got the shot. I'm down. I'm gonna die. I'm also gonna get a shot of the camera like panning around like this, because that is a really cool shot, especially when it comes to like forests, because it feels immersive. Spin slowly. Okay, that looked great. So now we're gonna get a sequence of me looking up towards the trees, so we get that like natural progression to the shot that we got up towards the trees. I think that looks good. Look at that. That. Oh. That is the money shot right there. The absolute last shot that I want to have is me walking out of the forest to make like the whole B-roll sequence feel like it's coming to an end. This looks really good. So I'm just gonna put the camera right here, and then I'm gonna walk towards that. Okay. There we go. Now I'm just gonna walk away. And we're done. Okay, let's go back to the office and edit. All right, back to the office. Feels great. I don't know why I'm speaking Irish, or I don't know what that was. Let's open up all the footage in Final Cut Pro and I'll show you how I edited that sequence together. Okay, so the first clip that we are going to use is going to be the one of the tree stump here. So we're going to drag this to the timeline, and then we're gonna, like, when we are starting to pan, we're gonna cut it. So we press B for the blade tool, and then we hit A, select backspace, delete that. We don't want to have that. And then we want to slow this clip down because we shot everything in 120 frames per second, as you remember. And then we're gonna mark this, and then we're gonna choose custom and 20%. So now that we play it back, you can see that it looks really good. It looks kind of steady as well. So I don't know if we're gonna add some stabilization to this, but the clip doesn't have to be longer than maybe like 2 or 3 seconds. So we're gonna cut the clip at 3 seconds to begin with, I think. So we're gonna hit the B for the blade tool, and then we're gonna cut it. We're gonna mark the rest of the clip and hit backspace. The second clip that we're going to use is going to be where I look around in the forest, basically, and you have the sun coming in the back, and it looks really, really good. So we're going to drag this to the timeline, like that, and the phone didn't really rotate, so we're going to have to do that by ourselves, and we're going to mark the clip. We're going to go up here to the transform, and then we're going to choose the rotation and hit -90. And then we want to make the clip bigger, so we're going to drag it up on the scale to 180. And then we want to slow the clip down. So we're going to slow, choose custom and 20%. This is not going to be longer than like 2 or 3 seconds. So we're going to cut it at 6 seconds, like that. Maybe we can take the next clip is gonna be when, like, we pan on the trees. I think that is gonna fit good into here. So we're gonna choose that one. And the same thing here, we wanna slow this down. Mark this, which we're gonna choose custom. Again, 20%. I think you know by now, so I don't have to say it. And then we can add a speed ramp here. So Shift B at the playhead, and then go forward somewhere around here, Shift B, and we're gonna choose fast ×8. So perfect. And now I want to have a clip of the water, so we're gonna choose this. Oh, that is a good sequence. So we're gonna choose this one, and we're gonna drag it to the timeline, slowing this down. So we're gonna go back to the beginning, and then we're gonna include the clip of the tree bark that I shot as well. And then we're gonna drag this just after the first clip that we got, and slow this down as well. Okay, let's do a speed ramp here. Shift B, and then move forward to somewhere around here, just so that we can see the sun. Now we have my face, looks good. We have the forest up, spinning around, the water, and then we can finish this sequence off by me walking away into the forest, all right? And since all the clips have some kind of motion in them, the last clip feels a little bit out of place, but we're gonna add some fake motion to it so that it feels more dynamic. So what you wanna do is go up to the transform tab, and then you wanna go in just a little bit to, like, say 120, and then we're gonna drag the position X to the right to -185. Then we wanna set a keyframe so that when we move forward to somewhere around here, you want to set this to 0, and we can play that back and see how it looks. We got a nice dynamic motion going on here.